Hello and welcome to a real long-term review of this, my trusty old Maruti Suzuki Swift ZDI. This was bought in 2011. Right now we are in 2025. So this is 14 years old. And in those 14 years, this car has done just 90,000 kilometers and given no real problems other than the gearbox not slotting into third in the first year itself. But that was sorted under warranty. A few months back, my family decided that we needed an automatic for the small car and decided to sell the Swift off and get a Hyundai i20 N-Line. This Swift was bought for Rs 7.37 lakhs on road Navi Mumbai with extended warranty. Maruti True Value recently offered me Rs 2.95 lakhs. Not bad. I'm sure I can sell this off for a better price privately. For reference, the top-end Swift today costs Rs 11.27 lakhs on-road Mumbai and isn't even diesel and has one cylinder less. That's when I realized that I will just make this my project car because it is in fantastic condition. But there were a couple of big issues with the car. Firstly, the speedometer, it stopped working and the boot lid would just not open, it became jammed. So I sent the car to a Maruti Suzuki service station. They charged me Rs 2,000 to replace something had gone wrong or some sensor had malfunctioned. Only for Rs 2,000, both the issues were fixed, and that's the reason why a Maruti is a Maruti. Cheap cost of repairing things like a speedometer. And the new Swift is actually a downgrade. I don't like how it looks, I don't like how it drives, and I don't like the fact that it is a 3-cylinder. Clearly, the Swift isn't swifting anymore, and that's the reason why it is at a discount of almost a lakh. Besides, I've driven many supercars, but nothing beats a diesel manual because a diesel is a diesel and a manual is a manual. Having control on the gears and the torque rush of a diesel is simply unmatched. This car might not be fast, but it gives me tremendous joy every time I drive it. In fact, I don't even have to redline it because shifting in the mid-range is more than enough because it's the mid-range grunt which is so good in this car because of the torque, the little bit of turbo lag which is the silence before the storm. It really puts a massive smile on my face every time I drive it, and I'm not even going fast. That's the funny thing. I know my Swift is old, but to keep it smelling like new, I use the Involve Elements Pro Meteor Shower car perfume. Firstly, it's very easy to use. You just need to open this tag and put it here, right below the inside rear view mirror. Then you take this and spray it twice like this. Now this thing has ginger and woodsy notes. It actually creates a cosmic atmosphere of freshness in the car, which is very important if your car is actually older than your YouTube channel. You can get yours with a 10% discount using coupon code FASTBEAM. Click somewhere on the top right corner of the screen right now, or you can even get it on Zepto, which delivers instantly in like 10 minutes or so. चलो पैसा आ गया स्पॉन्सर से, अब इस गाड़ी को मॉडिफाई करेंगे. मस्त प्लान है. Oops, ये काटना था, ये मत डालना वीडियो में. Now let me quickly tell you why I actually bought a Swift in 2011 in the first place. Which means first we need to go to 2007 because it is story time. When the Swift diesel first came in 2007, we were so amazed by the fuel efficiency of that car that we bought the top end VDI ABS. That time the Swift wasn't available in ZDI trim. We had to actually wait for 3 months for the ABS variant because the dealer tried to convince us that ABS is useless in the city. Even before the car reached home, we changed the tires and wheels because it came with those puny 165 section tires which offered no grip at all, especially with the kind of torque that car was producing. And then later, we also added a performance air filter along with a tuning box. Trust me, no car till date has given me the kind of joy that the first generation Swift diesel used to give because of the turbo lag. It was the silence before the storm. Okay, repeat after me. It's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. It's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. It's more fun to drive. Okay, you get the gist. That is why when you come to such an amazing road where the speed limit is 100 kilometers per hour, every car feels slow. But not this Swift, because at 100 kilometers per hour, this car feels like it's going at 200 kilometers per hour. But there were way too many issues. Right from the rattling to the gearbox, because the car used to rattle a lot and the gearbox used to keep blowing all the time. Once first gear went, then second went, then third went, then fourth went. Every gear went, it used to blow up, but at different times, which means 4 to 5 times the car had to be sent to Maruti Suzuki to replace the gearbox, and it used to take a lot of time because in the first generation Swift diesel, the gearbox was integrated with the engine. So the engine had to be removed, then the gearbox had to be opened up, and then all those changes used to happen. Everything used to happen under warranty, but the car was gone for a real long time. However, they used to give a donor car. But that donor car was a real bad condition Swift, an orange colored one, which we hated driving completely. We decided we are never ever going to buy a Swift again. And then the decision was made. We are going to get the best hatchback in the market, the Fiat Gran Punto 90 HP. Thankfully, we did not buy that because Fiat obviously left India. So then why didn't we buy the Gran Punto and why did we get the Swift instead? Because when we put car for sale online, it got sold in 12 hours without the buyer even bargaining on the price. Wow. And that's when we realized that Swift resale is just amazing. So we decided to buy another Swift, this one in 2011, replacing our first generation Swift with the second generation Swift. You guys must be wondering that this guy is making decisions basis resale value. Well, I was young and broke then. Every rupee mattered when it came to the resale value of the car. Now let's quickly look at what all was changed in this car over the years. Not much actually. The doctor sticker actually boosts the resale value of this car by 3.645%. But since this has two doctor stickers, one at the front and one at the rear, the resale value of this car is now better by 7.29%. A new head unit was added because a rear camera was added, so its feed had to be shown somewhere. The rear camera feed is not the best. I mean, it's decent, it's not bad at all. However, this car has got only 2 airbags. Most cars these days, they are coming up with 6 airbags, but this car has no level 2 ADAS. This car has got level 10 ADAS because I've added something which obviously brings it to level 10 ADAS, which is the horn, of course, because this is a dual tone horn. Much better sounding. One of the most important safety feature in India is the horn. You have a good horn, you will get the respect. But don't be horny. I mean, don't honk too much unless and until it's absolutely needed. And at times it's absolutely needed as well. And the head unit also gets a remote. I don't know why. And because of which there was a new mic placement for the Bluetooth system. Rear parking sensors were also added. And this car was also given the floating roof treatment by adding a black wrap right here. Another update to this car were the tires. We have upsized it from 185 to 195 for better grip, of course. Those were the things we changed, but some of the modifications the car did on its own and we don't really consent to it. Like the paint chipping, which is very much obvious at the front. Maruti Suzuki's paint quality is very poor and they really need to improve it. I did keep these inside the cabin. One is 100% full, the other is like 10% full. But Mumbai's climate is not really suited for parking your car in the basement for long duration of time because then fungus becomes your best friend. And then there's the fungus on the sun visor and below the rear seats because this car was standing in the basement all through the monsoons as I had no time to drive it. Under heavy braking, I all of a sudden see some water around the rear seat and I'm wondering what water bottle is leaking. So I opened my bag to see if my water bottle is leaking and then again it happened. So I opened the boot and then I realized that below the boot floor where the spare wheel is, there's a lot of water which has been accumulated. I don't know how that has happened. Maybe when the car is getting washed, there's some leakage which results in water getting accumulated lower down, and because the spare tire is obviously not clean, it's all the dirty water which is now inside the cabin now and I need to get this car cleaned. Well, it turns out that due to the age of the car and the usage of borewell water to wash it, some rusting had happened which led to the water leakage in the boot. This was fixed for around rupees 7,000. Lastly, the lights have become yellow and have added their own strobe somehow. Also, because of this stupid phone mount, there's some glue which came out from here and got stuck on the front windscreen. Somehow, this car doesn't feel old at all. There are no rattles and thankfully, the dashboard is like new and mechanically, the car is very sound. This is not a BMW, yet handling is an absolute joy. You can overtake cars around the corners with utmost confidence because the steering wheel is one of the best in any Swift. After that, it was just downhill. Look at me cornering at such speeds. It's so much fun. This car actually feels like a go-kart with the efficiency of a diesel because a diesel is a diesel, is a diesel at the end of the day. I love driving it. So why modify it? Because cars are losing feel and electrification is happening, which will cause a lot of heartburn to enthusiasts like us. So I'm going to start with the first mod. These neon caps on the wheels cost me like 50 bucks. They look really cool at night. Hey, I'm just kidding. We are going to be doing some fun and meaningful modifications to this car, which I've classified into 3 categories: performance, cosmetic and audio. But first, let's understand how's the condition of this car's engine. And off we go! So much wheel spin, which is absolutely crazy. But this car isn't really fast because 0 to 100 km per hour takes almost, wait for it, 13.5 seconds. So I need to make this car much faster when compared to before without obviously affecting the reliability. I'm right now on my way to dyno this car. As soon as I reached the dyno facility, the first thing I did was check the tire pressure. I then parked the car on the dyno where it was secured properly by being strapped on all four corners. A couple of fans were also placed in the front for better breathing. All this took just 10 minutes. Car is all strapped up and ready to be tested. But before that, let me tell you that in 2011, when Maruti Suzuki sold me this car, they claimed that the diesel engine here produces 75 horsepower and 190 Newton meters of torque on the crank. And today we are going to be testing how much it makes on the wheels, because over the 14 years, obviously there's going to be a loss of horsepower and torque. And I'm here at KS Motorsports to find out the exact loss. First run done, and the numbers, they seem very promising. That's the reason I want to do another run. And the results are out. This car is producing 76.28 horsepower and the torque output is 180.3 Newton meters, which means there hasn't been any power loss, but torque has decreased minutely to the tune of almost 10 Newton meters. However, how is it possible that there is no power loss over the period of 14 years? I think Maruti has been underquoting its numbers, because this car might have been producing maybe 85 horsepower when they sold me, but yes, super impressive. After the disbelief on the dyno, I was confident that I can make this a 100 horsepower car, and thus drove across town for the next part of this video. I can't believe it, I just saw an Aston pass by. And now it's time to start the modifications of this car. The Swift is all ready, and I'm so pumped up to open the cover to tell you exactly what a fantastic modification I've done to this car. But before that, I want to take the reaction of my wife Nurain. So Nurain, if you don't mind, come here and you tell me what do you think about my tasteful modifications to this car.
Can I see?
Yes, you come from there, we'll pull it off together, okay? 3, 2, 1, niche se, go.
Dude, what the fuck? When did you get it?
Bought it last week.
When you were just sending it to me saying that we should buy a Polo, and I was actually telling you that Polo is a legendary car. It's been always my favorite. And this is how Maruti turns into a Volkswagen.
No, Maruti can never turn into Volkswagen, but 2 nights back, 3:30 AM, we are discussing Polo is love, Polo is the best, we should get Polo. I'm sending a link, she's like, too expensive.
For 3-4 seconds, पता है, I was expecting you will do like purple color, जैसे कि वो Tarzan car है. And I was like, ठीक है वैसे आएगा.
That was the shortlisted color actually.
I know, फिर मैंने ऐसे ऊपर करते टाइम पे देखा, मैंने बोला white, इसने कुछ किया ही नहीं. And I'm just seeing the color, I'm like, rap करेगा, कुछ तो करेगा. I'm like, कुछ नहीं किया.
So the Swift is sold now. This is a Polo.
You sold it?
Yes, 1 liter TSI manual.
Oh my goodness, you got this for 9.5?
No, I got it for 7.22 lakhs.
How?
I mean, I had to hunt.
Because we were checking and it was like, oh my god, so we are going to get this modified so that I can finally pursue my racing career.
The thing is that the parts for this car are available in plenty, but they are too expensive.
Oh my
Because
god.
steering wheel, 85,000 bucks.
I'm so happy, finally got some sense. I was like, Swift ko mat karna modify.
And you know where this car was parked?
I don't know.
Basement 2.
Really?
I parked it in basement 2 so you can't see it.
I don't know, why am I so happy? Like, I don't know.
All right, now the story of what happened to the Swift will come in the next video when I tell you why I bought a Volkswagen Polo in 2025. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up. That's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye-bye. That's when I realized that I will just make this my project car because it is in fantastic. तू हॉर्न ही बजाते रहे भाई.
कब लिया पोलो?
थर्सडे को गया था ना.
मैं कहाँ थी?
अरे मैं पुणे गया था जब तुम मम्मी के साथ लड़ रही थी, मेट्स के साथ लड़ रही थी. मैंने कहा ये क्या चल रहा है, मैं यहाँ पे
तुम पुणे शूट करने गए थे?
गाड़ी खरीदने गया था मैं. ये साला भी गया था मेरे साथ कैमरा के पीछे.
स्विफ्ट को मॉडिफाई करने गया. आई वाज लाइक पता नहीं क्या टाइम वेस्ट. पर काफी क्लीन कंडीशन है यार. मतलब इट्स वेरी गुड. दो एक सेकंड वहीं से लिया क्या? वो अपना बंदा है ना
पुणे में कौन बंदा है अपना? अच्छा नहीं, दुर्गा कार डेकर से नहीं लिया। जेन्युइनली मैं बता रहा हूँ, रात के 3:30 बजे वी आर डिस्कसिंग पोलो इज लव, शी इज लाइक इफ आई कुड बाय अ पोलो आई वुड बाय अ पोलो, रेड पोलो, पोलो इज द बेस्ट कार, आई लव दैट कार, दिस दैट ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला। ये रेसर कब से बन गई पोलो, मेरे को ये नहीं समझ आता। फनी पार्ट, ये मुझे पहले ही करना था। आई टोल्ड नूरेन कि तुम्हें इंस्टाग्राम पे रीच चाहिए ना, तुम एक पोलो खरीद लो। शी इज नेवर लाइक पम्प्ड अप कि मैं करूंगी। आई हैड गिवन यू दिस ऑप्शन, यू डिडंट टेक इट, आई बॉट इट।
ये बाकी का आगे रिकॉर्ड कर क्यों रहे हो, मुझे वो समझ नहीं आ रहा।